First off, I want to make it clear that this video is sponsored by Lexar, and in it, I'm going to take all of these parts and build them into a killer gaming PC, of course using Lexar's Aries RGB RAM and their professional NM800 PCIe Gen 4x4 SSD. Let me run you through the parts as we get building. So first up, we have the CPU, the Intel i5-12400F. This is a great value 6-core chip that offers perfectly decent performance, especially at 1440p, which is what I'm targeting here. This is going into an Asus B660-TUF D4 motherboard, which again strikes a good balance between performance and value, plus supports DDR4, which is important for our Lexar Aries RGB DDR4 4000 RAM. This is a kit of 16GB of DDR4 4000 CL18 RAM, which is factory overclocked, XMP 2.0 enabled, with a sleek aluminium heat spreader, and of course topped with RGB lighting, which you can sync with everything from Asus's AuraSync, Gigabyte's RGB Fusion 2.0, MSI's Mystic Light Sync, or ASRock's Polychrome Sync as well. Of course, running at 4000 megatransfers per second is above Intel's rated spec for the CPUs, so that may void your CPU's warranty, but since you can eke out some extra performance with these, well, it might just be worth it. As for the SSD, this is their Professional Series NM800 PCIe Gen 4x4 drive. This is the 1TB model, and you can check out the last video in the cards above to find out why exactly a blazing fast Gen 4x4 drive like this might soon be your best friend. But in short, it'll run up to 7.4GB per second in reads, 5.8GB per second in writes, offers a 3PB written rating, and is going to be a great fit for Microsoft's Direct Storage API once games start implementing it. As for the cooler, I'm using an Arctic Freezer 34 Esports Duo here with the LGA 1700 mounting kit. It can be a bit of a pain to get installed. You'll need to use their newer backplates and the slightly sort of shorter standoffs, I believe, where you'll get the proper mounting pressure. Once you have installed those on the board, you'll then want to install the power supply in the case. Now, speaking of the power supply, I'm using this Corsair CX750F, which I think goes well in white with our white Aries RAM, and will be just about enough to power the absolute monster of a graphics card over there. I like to install the power supply first, as it means that we can pre-route all of the cables, which makes things a lot easier, especially when you go to install the motherboard later. Now, speaking of the case, I'm using a Phanteks P400 Air. I actually really enjoy building in these, plus they look rather nice, and they have pretty decent cooling with the full mesh front panel too. Now, once you have the motherboard and all the bits together, you can then install the motherboard in the case. It can be a bit tedious with 9 screws, so I'll do you a favor and jump forward to once I've installed all of those. Once all of those screws are in, you want to hook up all of the cables. Everything from the 24 pin in the middle right to the 8-pin CPU power connector at the top left, and even things like the fan connectors, the front panel power switch or power button connector, the front panel audio headers, front panel USB, all that sort of stuff. Once those are in, it's time to tackle the cooler. We can start by mounting the unit onto the sort of CPU itself with a bit of a sort of strip of thermal paste down the middle. All you need to do is push the cooler onto the CPU or onto the standoffs and install the 4 thumb screws on each side, and then once those are nice and tight and in place, you can install the fans. They just clip on with clips on either side. Make sure to plug in the 4-pin PWM fan header so the fans actually start spinning and work just fine, and then that is our CPU cooler installed. Finally, we have the monster of a graphics card, an RTX 3070 Ti. This huge thing needs 3 8-pin PCIe power connectors and barely fits in the case, but I would call that priorities. That's some good priorities right there. It does just slot in as normal once you remove the 2 rear I/O plates, and then you can use those 2 screws to hold it in place, attach the bracket that goes on the backside of the case, connect up the triple 8-pin PCIe power connectors, and then that's it. That is the system built, it's ready to go, so let's get it fired up and play a few games and see how it performs. I've tried this this mission a few times, and it always goes about as well as you'd expect, which is not very. Oh, that guy can move very quickly. Okay, all right, fine, all right, come on. Wait, I have a sniper rifle. Why am I not using my sniper rifle to shoot at his sniper rifle? There we go, that's better. Oh dear, I am at 5 health. Let me stim up real quick, that's better. So I'm happy to say that we're getting, what, 100 FPS even in this rather crowded firefight area. Not bad. Obviously an RTX 3070, you would kind of expect that sort of, or 3070 Ti, you'd kind of expect that sort of performance, but yeah, not bad. Ah, missed. See, the PC can be as good as it likes, but if the idiot controlling it isn't any good, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Hey. Well, again, the performance is pretty decent, and as you can expect, in pretty much any game you can think of, it does a pretty decent job. Now, somewhat unsurprisingly, this system games very well. At 1440p, you can expect near on 400 FPS average in CSGO, over 110 in Cyberpunk, 105 FPS average in Microsoft Flight Simulator, 176 FPS average in Fortnite, 119 FPS average in Watch Dogs Legion, and 152 FPS average in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is clearly a very performant system and decently future-proofed thanks to the Lexar NM800 Gen 4x4 SSD, which would be great for direct storage, and of course the overclocked Aries RGB RAM. Once again, thank you to Lexar for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for watching. If you want to learn more about the NM800 or the Hades RAM, then you can check out the top links in the description down below. I'll also leave links to the rest of the parts in the description for you to take a look at. And if you want to see more videos from me, you can hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. You can also check out plenty more videos that are already live on the channel, on the end cards, and that's kind of it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.